Another day, another person with some dumb complaints. Let's see who we got today. The Murder Drones graphic novel is a lazy, uninspired cash grab by vanitymoth. Okay, we're in for a long video today, ladies and gentlemen. Strap yourselves in.
Now I see something red.
Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Thank you for joining me for another video. You see the thumbnail, you see the intro. Yeah, we're talking about vanitymoth again today. Now, last time I covered vanitymoth, it was his opinion on the Gaslight District. Or not really opinion, more like his view on the Gaslight District. And in that video, I basically responded to some points that he made on the Gaslight District and some pretty dumb comparisons in my opinion. For example, he compared the Gaslight District to Murder Drones, and I'm not talking like quality level, like he wasn't out here saying, oh, the Gaslight District's animation looks worse than Murder Drones or anything like that. No. In fact, I don't think I've actually seen him comment on the quality of Gaslight District, actually. But anyway, he didn't comment on the quality. He compared the view count from the Gaslight District pilot to the finale of Murder Drones. No, I'm not joking, that's an actual comparison he made. If you want more details, then go ahead and check out my previous video on him. By the way, the support for that video is absolutely amazing. You guys are legends, thank you so much. But in that video, I basically covered some community posts that he made. I didn't actually react to any of his videos, but that's gonna change today because that's what we're doing today. So, in case you haven't been following the news lately, Glitch announced ages ago that they are doing a graphic novel retelling of the Murder Drones show, which I'm not really that much of a comic reader or a graphic novel reader, but like I'm just looking at this like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. Now, I personally can't really say much. I mean, none of us can actually, because the graphic novel is still in production as far as I know. But nonetheless, I think this is cool. I'm glad Murder Drones is still getting content. I heard they just released a music video on Murder Drones as well, which I am still yet to watch, so I'll probably make a video on that or just watch in my own time. But anyway, yeah, vanitymoth has some things to say about the graphic novel. The graphic novel that's not even out yet. I've only watched like 3 minutes of this particular video, and I was just thinking, yeah, I gotta make a video on this. So who knows, he may be spitting, I don't know, like maybe he would be right in saying that this graphic novel retelling is a lazy cash grab. So without further ado, let's roll the video.
Recently, Glitch has announced that Murder Drones is getting a graphic novel adaptation, and with it, Murder Drones fans and YouTubers are mindlessly echoing the sentiment that Murder Drones is back and revived, and if that were the case, this would be a positive video. But that isn't the case. In fact, that couldn't be farther from the truth because the Murder Drones graphic novel isn't a continuation, a sequel, or a prequel. It's a retelling.
So his first issue is that it's a retelling and not a sequel or prequel to Murder Drones. I already know there are people that are pretty pissed off with Glitch and Murder Drones' creator for not giving them a season 2. Which, like, I will admit I was pretty disappointed when the Murder Drones announcement in Glitch Direct wasn't a Murder Drones Season 2. Like, they announced the music video and I was like, oh, okay, that's kinda cool, I guess, but where's Season 2 at? Until I actually did my research and found out that the creator came out and literally said that he had no plans for a Season 2. Which, yeah, I understand, like, that sucks, but, like, it's whatever, really. Like, what can you do about it? If the creator doesn't want to do a season 2, he doesn't have to, alright? But vanitymoth over here is having an issue with the fact that the Murder Drones graphic novel isn't a sequel to Murder Drones, which they're not going to do a season 2 on YouTube, so I doubt that they would have made the graphic novel a sequel anyway. A prequel, on the other hand, I can kinda see, like, maybe if Liam wants to kind of dive back into the Murder Drones universe again, that could be a possibility, but again, that's really up to him whether he does that or not. But sequel plans, that's not happening. We got confirmation from the creator that no kind of sequel is happening, so we gotta leave it at that. Besides, I don't really think Murder Drones needed a season 2. What it really needed is like 2 or 3 more episodes in the first season, because the last few episodes were kind of rushed in my opinion. It just looked like Liam wanted to just wrap up the story as quick as possible and just ended up being rushed.
But of all the ideas they could have chosen for this graphic novel, they made the most creatively bankrupt, low effort, and unsatisfying decision they could have possibly decided on, with it being a retelling of the show's story, and it just makes me ask, why? Why is this being made?
Well, I got a couple of answers here for you, Vanity. One, if they have no plans for a season 2, this is another way for them to keep the Murder Drones IP relevant. 2, it would be just like merch sales, like you have something physical to, like, support Glitch in their animation endeavors. And 3, this could be a great way to, like, kind of explore certain ideas or aspects that the creator couldn't really explore in the show. So yeah, that's another possibility. So if that was the case, it wouldn't be a direct retelling. It would be like a kind of like I don't want to say a soft reboot, but kind of like adding on more content, you know what I mean? I don't know, you can let me know what you think. Am I spitting, or am I just coping and glazing for Glitch?
Vanity Moth, you cry, desperate to defend the company that gave you the last thing you wanted. Aren't you being a little harsh? Don't you know? Since it's a retelling, it has the opportunity to explore perspectives we never saw before, or fix problems with the original series. Well, yes, I have thought about that, and you are right.
Oh, so you acknowledge one of the potential positives of this graphic novel. So, what's the problem then?
This graphic novel does have the opportunity to add more to the world and maybe even improve on it, but if we are going to acknowledge that possibility, we have to acknowledge that this comic isn't being written by Liam. And as far as we know, Liam has no involvement in this comic whatsoever.
Oh, that's a nice point, Vanity. You want to try backing that up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Oh, okay then, fair enough. Continue.
Now, before I move on to my next point, I want to clarify that I mean no disrespect towards the artist and writer of this adaptation, as they are just doing their jobs.
I mean no disrespect to the artist and writers, he says, as he calls the graphic novel a lazy, uninspired cash grab. Yeah, sure, mate.
But by transferring Murder Drones into the comic medium, this is creating a worse version of the product, because some of Murder Drones' best aspects are going to be lost along the way, such as the voice acting of the cast.
Okay, let's back up for a minute here. Did I hear that right? You said it's going to lose the voice acting, which whilst, yes, I do agree that Murder Drones has a lot of good aspects that is going to be lost within this graphic novel, but I really don't know what you expected when they announced they were making a graphic novel like that. Like, I don't know about the rest of you guys watching this video, but I don't go into a new movie or TV show or play a new video game just for some good acting or voice acting. Like, I don't know, I know everyone's different in how they view, like, pieces of media, but I don't really go in it looking for, like, just waiting to go, let's say, oh, one of his voice acting is gonna be good. Like, me personally, I go for, like, a good story and good characters, and hey, if they have good voice acting or acting on the side, then hey, that's a bonus. And I'm not gonna be, like, entirely upset if there's like a novelization or a graphic novelization of a certain media that I like, because I'm gonna miss out on the, like, good acting and voice acting. Like, honestly, what is that complaint? This would be like if I went into a restaurant and they announced they made, like, a vegan version of a burger meal that I like to eat, and I sat there saying, oh my god, they took away the best part, the meat, no. You just wouldn't do that, would you? You know, you want to know how that can be fixed? You order the non-vegan version of the burger meal.
The music of Murder Drones is perhaps one of the most distinctive aspects of the show. It more than pulled its weight from the first episode to the last, and to experience this series without that aspect could be devastating to some of the best scenes of the show.
So, again, a really simple fix for this would have been to, watch the show.
Do you really think that the prom fight would have been close to as good as it is without the knife dance music playing in the background? Would V's sacrifice have been nearly as emotional without the presence of Can You Set Me Free? And would the final fight against Sin even work without the nightcore of Bite Me?
Fucking hell, man, this is such a non-point. Like, what do you expect from a graphic novel? Yes, bro, I agree, the music in Murder Drones is good. I love it. Bite Me is probably my favorite out of all the songs in the show. How is this a thought that, like, appeared in your head, Vanity? What on earth are you smoking to have you come up with these kinds of questions and present them like they're supposed to be legitimate concerns? This would be like if Sony decided to make movie adaptations of the Insomniac Spider-Man games, and the main complaint was, oh, we don't get to play as Spider-Man. Like, of course we're not gonna get to play as Spider-Man, it's a fucking movie.
There is nothing this graphic novel could offer that could ever make up for the loss of the music within this show, as there are multiple scenes throughout the series that were directed to work with the audio design, and that creative vision will be lost in this adaptation.
Yes, you're right, the musical aspect is going to be lost within the comic, but it's not really that big of a loss in the end, is it? Like, I really don't understand how this particular thing is such a deal breaker for you. I honestly don't know what you expect Glitch to do. Do you want them to create one of those, like, little music book things that Disney makes for their movies? It's a comic book, not an audiobook. Of course, it's not gonna have the voice acting and the music from the series. I'm sorry if I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but at this point, there's just, like, literally no other rebuttal I could make to this kind of point.
So that brings me to ask you a very simple question. And I'm not asking this question as a Murder Drones fan, a graphic novel fan, or as a fan of entertainment. I am asking this question to you as a person. Would you pay money for a worse version of a product that is available for free?
Okay, I highly doubt that you're a fan of any of those things, considering how hard you want this graphic novel to fail. And to answer your question, I'd pay money for a good product. Which, and call me a glazer if you want to, but it looks like the graphic novel is gonna be good. Obviously, we're gonna have to wait until it actually comes out to see if it is actually good. If it ends up being shit, it ends up being shit. If it ends up being good, it ends up being good. It's literally as simple as that. All we can do is wait and see. Unless there are legitimate signs that this could end up being bad and failing, then we really should just hold our tongues. Like, if the Murder Drones graphic novel ends up being shit, then hey, I'll take back everything I said in this video. Vanity, you're an absolute genius. You predicted the future. But until that happens, Vanity, your video is garbage and your points are brain dead. Saying that a comic adaptation is going to be bad because it won't have certain aspects like music and voice acting is probably the most retarded thing I've ever heard. Don't worry, I'm autistic, I can say that.
Murder Drones cannot be enjoyed to its full capacity in a graphic novel form because Liam wrote this series to be enjoyed as a show, not as a comic.
I'm sorry, who the fuck came up with that rule? How can you write something to be enjoyed as a certain piece of media? You can write a story and put it into any medium, whether that be a movie, TV show, comic, video game, whatever the fuck. If this were the case, then all of the anime adaptations of every manga ever created wouldn't have done so well. Case in point, My Hero Academia, Dragon Ball Z, Jujutsu Kaisen, Naruto. You can't enjoy a story through a specific piece of medium, like a definitive piece of medium. You can enjoy one version or the other or both. It really doesn't matter.
Therefore, no matter how Murder Drones is adapted into this medium, it will never be as good as its original version, especially since Liam himself isn't even involved.
Again, you wanna try backing that up with a source?
My source is that I made it the
For that you made it the fuck up. Yeah, okay, I get it, Vanity.
So it's fair to come to the conclusion, with the lack of voice acting, lack of music, lack of the animation prowess that made the fight scenes look as good as they did, and the lack of the original creator, this is the definitively inferior version of Murder Drones as a series, and you are going to have to pay for it.
To give this man some credit, the creator allegedly not being involved with this does cause room for concern, but at the same time it is still too early to tell whether or not it's gonna go wrong without his involvement. Will the comic maybe not be as good as the show? Probably, if that is the case, but still, we just really have to wait until it actually comes out. I know I might have joked about it earlier in this video 2 times actually, but I honestly don't know whether this whole Liam not being involved in the comic thing is true, so if someone does have that particular information, please do let me know in the comments and correct me if I'm wrong.
And before anyone uses the excuse that they are buying it to support Glitch or indie animation, let me remind you that originally all merch sales went towards funding the future of the show. But Murder Drones has been over for nearly a year. So your money is just going to Glitch, who is already being funded by Amazon.
Now, I don't really know much about this Amazon deal, but as far as I know, or from what I've heard, Glitch isn't getting any funding from Amazon directly. As far as I know, they've only agreed to have them like stream their shows on there, like Murder Drones. I don't know if The Amazing Digital Circus is on Amazon Prime. As far as I know, it's only on Netflix. If Glitch made like a post detailing the exact, details of this agreement, then I would love to see that if anyone has that particular information.
The only way this adaptation can justify its existence for any artistic reason is if it adds on to the existing story in a meaningful way, and when I say that, I don't mean a single new line of dialogue for every episode, I mean entirely new perspectives, entirely new conversations between characters, and explanations on plot details that were poorly explained or brushed over.
And who's to say that this comic won't do that? Once again, I'm not gonna bash you for being skeptical or cautious about it, but to just outright suggest that it's going to be like dead on arrival or just absolute trash, saying all that before it comes out is just like, it just feels like you're trying to like bring down the comic before it even like actually gets off the ground. It's the same feeling with what you were doing with the Gaslight District last time I covered you on this channel. All of these, almost all of these arguments just seem very straw graspy. Like you're desperately trying to have this comic fail just like with the Gaslight District. I'm not saying that is like definitely what you're doing, but that's just how it's coming off. And a lot of your fans are seeing this as well. But that's about all I'm covering for this video. Once again, I feel like I need to remind you, do not go spread hate or anything to this guy. And don't take this as me like defending or glazing Glitch, because don't get me wrong, I've had my issues with Glitch as well, mainly on the Murder Drones side of things. Like with Murder Drones' last few episodes being very rushed in my opinion. I don't know if anyone else feels like that, please let me know if you do feel like that. But yeah, like I said, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, please be sure to let me know through liking, subscribing, and commenting. And also feel free to let me know what kind of content you want me to do. Feel free to leave suggestions on what topics I should cover next. Please be sure to go and show my other videos some support as well. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. So, I'll see ya.